Hi, welcome to my video on the volume of a right cylinder. The volume of a right cylinder. On the left, right here, I have a cylinder. A cylinder consists of the ends of circle on the bottom and circle on the top, and it has a height, and the circle is, this is perpendicular to the radius, making it as perpendicular to the ground as lodging. It's like a cylinder like this one. It's just resting. That's the right cylinder. A right cylinder on the left has a circle, which is the bottom, moving through a height. The volume is the base area moving through a distance. The volume of a right cylinder is the base area, which is the circle, moving through its height. And this time we're going to call the height H, because there's no confusion in L for distance that it moves through. Just the height moves up through. So the volume is BH, base area times height. The bottom of a right cylinder is the area of a circle times its height. And the area of a circle is pi r squared times h, which put together is pi r squared h, the formula for the volume of a right cylinder. Let's find the volume of each right cylinder to the nearest tenth. I have some examples to do. The base area is B. The base area is 14.3 inches, and the height is 6.1 inches. But the area is squared. So the formula is volume is base area times height. We already have the base area of 14.3 multiplied by 6.1. And when we multiply that out, we get 87.23. And that's volume, so it's inches cubed. But we got to round it to the nearest tenth. Tenth is the 2, so that becomes a 0. The 3 is less than 5, so we do not change. So the answer is 87.2 inches cubed. B, we have a right cylinder that has a radius of 8 and a height of 10. So R is the radius, the height is H is 10, and the volume is right cylinder base area times height. That's true for, again, triangular prism, the rectangular prism, the cube, the square prism. Same formula. The base area of a cylinder is a circle, so it's pi r squared h. So it's 3.14. Radius we have is 8, so that's 8 subbed in, squared, and the height is 10. When you multiply that out, you get 2009.6 when you use your calculator. And it's all in centimeters, so it's centimeters cubed. We had to be careful to make sure that all the units are the same. C, I have a cylinder drawn here. And I have the radius on the bottom is 7. Notice it's meters. And I have the height is 11.4, and it's all the same units, meters. So the volume is base area times the height. The bottom of the cylinder is a circle, so it's pi r squared h. So it's 3.14 times the radius, which is 7 squared, times the height, 11.4. And when you multiply that out with a calculator, you get 1754.004. We had to round it to the nearest tenth, so the 0 is in the tenth place. So this, all digits to the right of that place value, tenth, become zeros. This number is less than 5, so we do not change the 4. So it's 71754, and it's in meters. So the volume is cubic meters. And D, we have another one to do. We have a cylinder that got a diameter of 20 feet and a height of 36 inches. Oh, now notice we got 20 feet and 36 inches. So 36 inches, let's take the 36 and divide by 12. That gives us 3 because there's 12 inches in a foot. So 12 into 36 gives me 3 feet. So the diameter is 20 and the height is 3. So that means the radius is going to be a 10. So the volume is base area times height. So it's pi r squared h. So it's 3.14 times the radius of 10. So it's 10 squared times the height is 3. And when you multiply all that out, you get 942. And it's in feet. So it's cubic feet. And remember, base area times height. What is the base? Moving through a distance for volume. And now we have some more that you can practice. Practice means you can pause your video and work out the problem and play back to see if you get it right. And do that for each problem. That checks to see if you understand what you're doing. We have find the volume of each right cylinder to the nearest tenth. So we have a radius, which is r, is 2.6, and we have a height of 7.9. Notice they're all the same units, so everything's okay. So the volume is base area times height, and it's a cylinder, so it's pi r squared h. So it's 3.14 times 2.6 squared times the height, 7.9. And that gives us 167.688 is on a calculator. And we got to round it to the nearest tenth, so the 6 is in the 10th place. So all these numbers digits become 0. The 8 is greater than 5, so we add 1 to the 6. So it's 167.7. 1 on. And that is in millimeters, so it's millimeters cubed. Number 2, we have a diameter of 12 yards and height of 5 yards. So we have the same units. So diameter is d. That means the radius is half of that, so 6. We have a height of 5. They're all the same. So the volume is base area times height. So it's pi r squared height. So it's 3.14 times the radius, which is 6 squared, times 5. And that gives us, when you do a calculator, 565.2. And there's no rounding, but the volume is cubic. So it's already to the nearest tenth because there's no hundreds there. Number 3, we have another cylinder. We have, notice the radius is 2 and the height is 12. And they're all the same units. So just a practice, the volume is base area times height, which is pi r squared h, because there's a circle on the bottom. The area is pi r squared times its height. So it's 3.14. And his radius is 2. So it's 2 squared. Height is 12. When you multiply all that out with a calculator, you get 150.12. And it's to the nearest tenth. So the hundredths place becomes a 0. This number is less than 5, so we don't change the 1. So the answer is 150.1, and it's in meters, so it's meters cubed. Again, always check, make sure all the units are the same. Number 4, we have a right cylinder got a circumference. Circumference is 62.8. Okay, we have a height of 5.3, and the same units as inches. That's now to get the area of the volume is base area times height. But the base area is pi r squared h because it's a circle, and we got 3.14, but we don't have the radius. We have the height of 5.3, but we don't have. So we have to work on the circumference. The circumference formula is c equals 2 pi r. Circumference is 62.8. 2 times 3.14 times r. 62.8. 2 times 3.14 is 6.28 r. And because it's a multiplication, we divide both sides by 6.28. 6.28. That cancels. We get r. And 6.28 divided by 62.8 divided by 6.28 is a 10. So the radius is 10. So we take the radius and put in the formula. But that's the only unknown that's missing. And when we multiply all that out with a calculator, we get 1,664.2. And it's all inches, so it's cubic inches. Remember, make sure the units are the same. Number 5, we have a cylinder. And the cylinder looks like that's a diameter of 6.4. And it says the length, and the length is, they must mean the length is this, which is the same as understanding that that's the height. The length of the height is twice the diameter minus the radius. Well, let's see. We have a diameter of 6.4. And that means that the radius is half of that, 3.2. And it says the length, or the height, but height is the equal sign, twice the diameter, minus 1.5. So that means if the diameter is 6.4 minus 1.5, so I sub in 6.4, I have to multiply before I subtract. That's 12.8, subtract 1.5, and that gives us 11.3 when you subtract. And again, all these units are meters, and the height is in meters. So the formula for the volume, I have the radius and I have the height, so I can work out the formula for volume is base area times height, which is pi r squared h, because the bottom of a cylinder is a circle. And that leaves us with 3.14. The radius is 3.2, and I'm going to square it. And the height is 11.3. And when you multiply all that out with a calculator, you get 363.33568. And you got to round that off, says to the nearest tenth. So tenths, that's a 0, and a 0, and a 0, 0, because this 3 right here is in the tenth place. So all the digits to the right become 0. And this digit to the right of 3 is less than 5, so we do not change this 3. So 363.3 to the nearest tenth. And it's in meters. Volume is cubic. That's the final answer, 363.3. And let's continue. Practice means pause the video, work out the problem, and press play to see if you got the answer. Again, do that for each one, giving you a chance to work them out. It says, find the volume to the nearest tenth of a cubic foot. O is the center of the circle. OX is 25. And it says that, XY is 25. XY is the longest diagonal of the cylinder. And so we have HX is 15. And this is understood to be the height of the cylinder, so there's a right angle right here. And if we draw the diameter passing through O, that's the diameter. YH is your diameter. So to get the volume, we need pi r squared h. We need the radius. We have the height. We have the height of 15, but we need the radius, and we don't have it. It's a question mark. So we have to get the radius. Because we have a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean property. C squared is a squared plus b squared. C is the hypotenuse opposite the right angle. So the number opposite the right angle is 25, so C is 25. You always fill in your hypotenuse first, the side opposite the right angle. A is could be called your diameter, which is YH, and B is 15. So 25 squared is 625. D squared, 15 squared is 225. And we do transposing, so we bring the 225 to the left and make it a minus. So D squared is equal to 400. D is equal to the square root of 400. So D is equal to 20. And that means if D is 20, that's your diameter, your radius is half of that. So the volume formula is V equals base area times height. So it's pi r squared h, because the base is a circle. So that's 3.14 times your radius is 10, so it's 10 squared. And your height is 15. 15 is your height, which I indicated. And when you multiply all that out, you get 4,710. And it's cubic feet. You didn't have the round ending because there's no hundreds. And the last one to do, number 7. A right cylinder has a lateral area of 414. So LA is lateral area, 414.48 is the lateral area, and it's square meters. And it says the height is 11 centimeters. Okay, oops, that's my mistake. That's square centimeters, so I got square centimeters here. The height is in centimeters, gotta be careful. And I need to find the volume. In order to get the volume, you need your radius and your height. Well, let's see. The volume is base area times height. Bottom is a circle, so it's pi r squared h. So it's 3.14. And I need my radius to square, and my height is 11. So the lateral area is given so that you can find your radius. And if you remember, let's go down just here. If you draw a cylinder, and like this, then if you take the cylinder and cut it down like that for the height, then the cylinder unfolds to be like this. So that height right there is there, and this distance right here is the circumference. So that's your circumference. So the area of this lateral area of this cylinder is circumference times height, and circumference is 2 pi r h. Understanding what you're learning, knowing, not just memorizing, helps you to always get it right. So the lateral area is 2 pi r h. So sub in the lateral area, 414.48. 2 times pi, 3.14, times your radius, times your height of 11. And 414.48. And when you multiply all that out, 2 times 3.14 times 11, you get 69.08 R. Now you divide both sides by 69.08. That cancels to give you R. And when you divide, that gives you a 6. I completely worked everything out to be nice radius, so you wouldn't have too much trouble. Worked out to be 6. So you plug 6 into your volume formula, and since you have your pi, 3.146 squared times 11, that comes out to 1,243.44. And you have to round it to the nearest centimeter. So the centimeter is a unit, so that becomes a 0 and a 0. This number is less than 5, so we don't change to 3. So the answer is 1,243 rounded off, and it's cubic centimeters. And that takes us to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed finding learning how to find the volume of a the volume of a right cylinder. And if you did know, then there's a review. And if you like what I'm doing, click the like button. If you want to be a subscriber, click the subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, click the notification bell, because there are more videos coming your way. Write a comment on my video if you're a subscriber. And if you want, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. And you'll see information on me, my degrees and teaching experience, in the section on videos that tells you the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. And the section on content has the topics that I have online in black font, and the topics that I'm going to put there in the near future will be in red font. I thank you very much for viewing my video. Hope you enjoy many more. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.